Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Online. In today's session, we'll be analyzing the 15 questions asked in our model paper number 6. When you see the questions in our model paper number 6, it is quite easier when compared to model paper number 5. Why have we done this? So that it boosts the confidence of the students who were disappointed looking at our previous difficult question paper. So, if you people haven't taken up the test yet, please do take up the test and then come watch our analysis video. And all this is available for free in our YouTube channel, as well as our app, as well as in our website. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. So, let us look at our first question here. What does the first question say? The first question goes like this. The sum of the 4 consecutive 2-digit odd numbers. So, they are asking for the sum of 4 consecutive 2-digit odd numbers. When divided by 10 becomes a perfect square. So, that sum when divided by 10 becomes a perfect square. So, which of the following can be one of the 4 numbers? So, they are asking out of the 4 options, which one of them can be one of the 4 2-digit odd integers. So, when you read the question might be complex. But let us start taking down the question. So, what they have told? They have asked for sum of 4 consecutive odd integers. Let me first write down the 4 consecutive odd integers. Let my 4 consecutive odd integers be n minus 3, n minus 1, n plus 1 and n plus 3. Why did I take these to be my 4 consecutive odd integers? Why didn't I just take n plus 1, n plus 2 and n plus 3 to be my 4 consecutive odd integers? Let us see that. Now, if I take this as my 4 consecutive odd integers, what happens? So, the sum would be n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus n plus 3. So, what happens? There are 4 n's here. So, 4n plus 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. So, my sum would be 4n plus 6. So, now when I take this as my 4 consecutive odd integers, what happens here? When you take the sum, it will be n minus 3 plus n minus 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus 3. When you take the sum of all these, sum would be equal to, there are 4n here, so it will be 4n minus 3 and plus 3 gets cancelled, minus 1 and plus 1 also gets cancelled. So, my sum would be 4n, whereas in this case it will be 4n plus 6. Hence, the calculations here would be easier. So, we need to be smart enough while we are taking down the question, the data given in the question. Now, we have got our sum as 4n. So, after this, what have they told? They have told that the sum when divided by 10 will become a perfect square. So, sum is 4n. So, let me take 4n. When divided by 10, it will give me a perfect square. Let me write that as PS. Now, we are stuck here. What to do next? Now, we can either take n values of n, substitute the values of n by taking the options, by taking 21 as n or any one of the terms here. I can take 21 to be any one of these terms and then get the value of n from that and substitute here and then get my answer. But that will be a very lengthy process. Instead, what can I do? I can take perfect squares. I can substitute for perfect squares. Which are the perfect squares? The perfect squares are 2, 4, 3 square which is 9, 4 square which is 16, 5 square which is 25, 6 square which is 36 and so on. Now, do I need to substitute all these values for perfect square? No. Why? For example, if I take 9 as to be my perfect square here. So, what happens? If I substitute 9 in this equation, 4n by 10 will be equal to 9. 4n will be equal to 90 and n will be equal to, it's nothing but 2 times 245 times, it is nothing but 22.5. So my n value is not a perfect integer here. It's not a perfect integer. Hence, I can't be taking value of 9. So which all the values should I be taking? The values which I must be taking for perfect square must be divisible by 4. So which are the perfect squares which are divisible by 4? So I'll have to eliminate 2. I'll have to eliminate 9 because it's not divisible by 4. So again, 25 is also not divisible by 4. So I'll have to eliminate this as well. So 4 is divisible by 4. 16 is also divisible by 4 and 36. So let me start substituting for these values. So if I take 4n by 10, 4n by 10 has to be 4. I have considered my perfect square to be 4. So what happens here? So 4 and 4 gets cancelled. Value of n will be equal to 10. So one of my term here, let me take n minus 3. What happens? What will be n minus 3? N minus 3 would be 10 minus 3, which is nothing but 7. Yes, 7 is an odd number, but is it a 2-digit odd number? No, it's not a 2-digit odd number. Hence, I can't be taking the value of perfect square to be 4. So again, I'll have to strike that out. So what is my next perfect square which I can be taking? It is 16. So let me take 16 and substitute it there. 4n by 10 will be equal to 16. Here I have considered my perfect square to be 16. So what happens here? 4 1 times, 4 4 times. So value of n will be 40. So my terms, 4 terms would be, what will be my 4 terms? It will be n minus 3, which is nothing but 37. 40 minus 3 is 37. What about my next term? N minus 1. What will be the value of n minus 1? It will be 40 minus 1, which is nothing but 39. Are these odd numbers? Yes, they are odd numbers. Are they 2-digit odd numbers? Yes, they are 2-digit odd numbers. Are they consecutive? Yes, they are consecutive as well. So my next term would be n plus 1. What is n plus 1? 40 plus 1, which is nothing but 41. So what will be my last term? N plus 3, which is nothing but 40 plus 3, which is 43. This will be my 4 consecutive odd numbers. So, is there any of these terms present in the options there? Are there any of these terms present in the options? Yes, our option C has 41, which is nothing but our final answer. Let's move on to our next question here. What does the next question tell? Crusoe, as from a mysterious egg discovered by Angus, was growing at a fast pace that Angus had to move it from house to lake. Given the weights of Crusoe in its first weeks of birth as 5, 15, 30, 135, 405, 1215, 3645. Find the odd weight out. What's our question here? It's nothing but our number series question. The story built around it is just to confuse you people, which is not necessary for us. Let us take down only what is necessary. The data which is necessary is the number series, which is nothing but 5, 15, 30, 135, 405, 1215, and finally 3645. Whenever we have questions on number series, what do we need to do? Our first step is to compare the first term and the last term. Take the difference between them. The first term in this case is 5 and the last term is 3645. The difference between them is very huge. Hence we know that there must be multiplication or division involved in the series. So let us check if the terms are increasing or decreasing. The terms here are increasing. The first term is 5, then 15, 30, it's increasing. Hence we know that it's multiplication and not division. So let me check my first term and the second term. What if I multiply with 5? I get 15. I have to multiply 5 with 3 to get 15. Let me check if my logic is correct by multiplying the same thing for my second term to get my third term. If I multiply 15 with 3, what do I get? If I multiply 15 with 3, I am getting 45. Which means either my logic here must be wrong, which is multiplied by 3, or my term here, which is 30, must be wrong. What is the actual value which I have got here? If I multiply 15 with 3, I will be getting 45. So, I don't know if my logic is wrong or the term is wrong. So let me leave this term, move on to my next term here. Next term here is 135. Let me check for my logic here. If it's working, my logic is correct. So if I multiply 135 by 3, what do I get? 3 into 100 gives me 300. 3 into 30 gives me 90. So totally it will be 390 plus 3 into 5 gives me 15. 390 plus 15 is 405, which is absolutely giving me the same term. Fourth term multiplied by 3 is giving me my fifth term. Hence, my logic here is correct. Hence, my term here 30 must be the wrong answer or the wrong term, which will be my final answer. But let me verify it. How do I verify it? Take 45, multiply it with 3. If I get 135, then it is confirmed that my 30 will be the wrong term there. So, if I multiply 45 with 3, what do I get? 40 into 3 gives me 120. 3 into 5 gives me 15. 120 plus 15 gives me 135, which is absolutely correct. So, the wrong term here is 30, which is my final answer. Now, let us look at our next question here. What does it say? Joke is faster than Paul. Joke and Paul each walk 24 kilometers. The sum of their speeds is 7 kilometers per hour. And the sum of the time taken by them is 14 hours. Then Joke's speed is. So this problem is based on time, speed and distance. What have they told? There are two people. Who are they? Joke and Paul. Let me write it down. There is Joke and there is Paul. Joke is faster than Paul. Here, the distance covered by Joke and Paul are equal, which is nothing but 24 kilometers. So D is nothing but 24 kilometers. It is same with Joke as well as with Paul. Now they are telling that the sum of their speeds is 7 kilometers per hour, which means speed of Joke plus speed of Paul is equal to 7 kilometers per hour. Let me assume that speed of Joke is x. So speed of Joke is x. So what will be the speed of Paul? Speed of Paul will be, if speed of Joke is x, if speed of Joke is x, then speed of Paul will be, if this goes to the other side, it will be 7 minus x. So the speed of Paul will be 7 minus x. Now, next, what have they told us? They have told that the sum of times taken by them is 14 hours. So which means I can represent the times as well as, I can represent times like the way I have represented speeds. But will I do that? No. Why do I not do that? Because if you represent time with, like the way I have represented speed, then there will be the number of variables increases. Instead, I'll represent total time as total time is equal to time taken by Joke plus time taken by Paul. What is the formula for time here? Time is equals to distance upon speed. So if I have to know the time taken by Joke, it will be distance covered by Joke with the speed of Joke. So what will be the total time here? Total time is given as 14 hours. So my total time here will be 14 hours, which would be equal to time taken by Joke. Time taken by Joke is the distance travelled by him, which is 24 kilometers, upon the speed of Joke. Speed of Joke is x here. So plus time taken by Paul. Same way, time taken by Paul is nothing but distance covered by him, which is nothing but 24 kilometers again, and speed of Paul, which is 7 minus x. Now if I see, there's 24, which is common here. So let me take 24 as common. So 14 will be equal to 24 into 1 by x plus 1 by 7 minus x. Now let me divide these two with 2. So 7 times is 14, 12 times is 24. Now to simplify this equation, I'll have to take the LCM of these. So what will I be getting then? So 7 will be equal to 12 into x plus 7 minus x, the whole divided by x into 7 minus x. Is what I'll be getting. Now x and x gets cancelled. So what will I be left out with? 7 will be equal to 12 into 7 divided by x into 7. 7x minus x square. So this is what I'll be left out with. Now again, 7 and 7 gets cancelled. So finally I'll be left out with 12 will be equal to this 7x minus x square will go on to the numerator when I take it to the other side. So it will be 7x minus x square. I've got a quadratic equation here. So if I properly represent this equation, I'll be getting x square minus 7x plus 12 will be equal to 0. Now to get the value of x, what do I need to do? I need to factorize 12 here. I need to factorize 12 in such a way that sum of its factors must be equal to minus 7. So what are those factors? They can be minus 4 and minus 3. So sum of them is minus 4 plus minus 3 is minus 7, and product minus into minus is plus, 4 into 3 is 12. So I've got the factors. So what will be my value of x? X can be either 4 or 3. But what is x here? X is speed of joke. And we know that joke is faster. So what should be the value of x? X must be equal to 4, meaning speed of joke is 4, which is my final answer. So let us move on to our next question here. What does the next question say? Next question says that a child is looking for his father. He went 90 meters in the east before turning to his right. Meaning it is a question based on direction sense. Whenever you have a question based on direction sense, while you're reading the question, try to represent it in the diagrammatical format. So a child is looking for his father. He went 90 meters in the east. So he's going 90 meters towards the east. So if this is my origin or the starting point of the child, it is going 90 meters towards the east. It has travelled 90 meters towards the east. Now, what have they told next? Before turning to his right. Now he is facing east. Whenever he is facing east and he is taking a right turn, which direction will he be moving in? He will be moving towards south. He will be moving towards south. If you don't believe this, turn towards your east direction and take a right turn. You will be facing south direction. Now, in south direction, how long did he move? He went 20 meters. He went 20 meters. So he went 20 meters after taking a right turn. Then what's happening there? 20 meters before turning to his right. Again, he's facing south here now. He's facing south. Now again he's taking a right turn. If he's facing south and if he's taking a right turn, in which direction will he go? He'll move towards west direction. So he's moving towards west. But how long did he go? Let us read our next point. So he went 20 meters before turning to his right again to look for his father at his uncle's place 30 meters from this point. So from this point his uncle's place is 30 meters. So after taking a right turn, he'll be moving 30 meters. So this is his uncle's house. So this is nothing but 30 meters. Now, what have they told next? From this point, his father was not there. So his father was not in his uncle's house. He's a clever man. He was escaped from there. So from there, where did the child go looking for? Now, from there, he went 100 meters to his north. So wherever he is facing or whichever direction he is facing in, the directions of the poles never change. The North Pole will always be the North Pole. South will always be south. East will always be east, and west will always be west. Hence, whichever direction he is facing in, his north will always be above. So he'll be moving 100 meters above. So to move 100 meters, first he'll cover 20 meters here, 20 meters, and then again an 80 meters. So totally you would have moved 100 meters in the direction of north. Now what are they asking? In north, before meeting his father in the street, his father was here. He met him in the street after moving 100 meters towards the north. Now, how far did the son meet his father from the starting point? Whenever they're asking the distance from the starting point, you'll have to always take the shortest distance. And which is the shortest distance? This would be my shortest distance. So what will be the distance here? How to find that out? See. So if this entire line is 90 meters, what will be this? The value of this point from here to here, it will be 90 minus 30, which is nothing but 60 meters. Now we have a right angle triangle. So we need the hypotenuse. How to get that? Hypotenuse square would be equal to sum of squares of its sides, which is nothing but squares of its sides, which is 60 meters and 80 meters. Square of those sides. What is 60 square? 60 square is nothing but 3600. What about 80 square? 8 square is 64 and 2 zeros, 6400. So that will be giving me hypotenuse square. So what will be the value of my hypotenuse or the shortest distance? It will be root over this value. What is 3600 plus 6400? It's nothing but 10,000. Root over 10,000. So hypotenuse will be equal to 100. So 100 meters will be the shortest distance between the starting point and the point where the child meets his father. They've just asked for the distance here, hence we can directly write it as 100 meters. What if they had asked about the direction? In which direction did the son meet his father from the starting point? This would be, it is between north and east. So the direction will be 100 meters towards northeast. So if that asked for the direction, it will be 100 meters towards the northeast. And that's our final answer. Let us move on to our next question here. What does our next question tell us? Which of the following numbers must be added to 5678 to give a remainder 35 when divided by 460? So they are asking what should be added to 5, 6, 7, 8 so that I'll have a remainder of 35 when divided by 460. So 460 is a multiple of 10. Now if I divide some number by the multiple of 10 and I want a remainder with the unit digit of 5, then the number which I am dividing, its unit digit also should be 5. Its unit digit must also be 5. So what must I add to 5, 6, 7, 8 so that my unit digit, which is 8, becomes 5? Let us check from our options there. So there is 980 is our first option. So if I add 980, I'll be adding 0 to 8 of my unit digit. 0 to 8. So that will be 8. The unit digit is not 5. So that option doesn't work, hold good. So what about my next option there? Next option is 797. So next option is 797. So I'll be adding 7 and 8. So I'll be getting 15. Yes, I'll be getting 5 as my unit digit. So my correct answer must be 797. So let me verify with other options as well. So my next option is 955. So my next option is 955. So I'll be adding 5 to 8, which gives 13, which is 3 in my unit digit. So again it is not 5, hence this option doesn't hold good. What about my final option there? Final option is 618. So I'll be adding 8 to 8 so that my unit digit will be 6. 8 plus 8 is 16, unit digit will be 6. Hence again my unit digit is not 5. Hence the only option which is giving me the unit digit as 5 is when I add 797 to 5678. Hence my final answer must be, I should add 767. That's my final answer. So let us move on to our next question here. What does it say? It says that it takes 52 days to complete an agreement deal by a certain number of men. So there are certain number of men working on some project. They take 52 days. Now the next part of the question is, after 17 days 300 men are added and 21 days are reduced, meaning they were in some hurry, so they had to finish the project earlier, so they added 300 men more. So because of that 21 days were reduced. They could finish the project 21 days early. So how many men were working initially? So this question is based on time and work. Here what have they given? They've told that some work W was finished by certain number of men. I don't know how many men were there, so I'll be assuming M number of men to be there initially. Now what did they tell? They took time, which is nothing but 52 days initially. So what is the formula for work here? Work is nothing but work will be equal to speed into time. Speed into time. But in our case, there are m number of men. Let us take an example. There is Dolu here. There is Dolu. He can eat 3 laddus in 1 hour. So 3 laddus in 1 hour. What is work here? Work here is eating laddus. What is speed here? Speed would be nothing but he could eat 3 laddus for 1 hour. In 1 hour, sorry. 3 laddus in 1 hour. So that will be the speed of Dolu. And time taken, we don't know. I mean, the time to consume 3 laddus is 1 hour. But X laddus, we don't know. Now let us say there is one more friend of him, which is Bolu. He can also eat 3 laddus in 1 hour. So now, if they start eating together, how many laddus can they eat together? How many laddus can they eat in 1 hour? They can eat totally 6 laddus in 1 hour. 6 laddus in 1 hour. So what's happening here? If the speed of each man is same, and if there are more number of men, there is 1 man, his speed was 3. Now, there were 2 men whose speed is the same. So, there were 2 men and speed was 3. So, what's happening? Speed is increasing proportionate to the number of men. So, here the speed would be m into speed of 1 man, which is nothing but there will be m number of people will be working in speed of 1 man. Speed of 1 man is s, m number of people will be working. So, the total efficiency or the total speed will be m into s. Like in this case, there were 2 people and the speed of 1 individual was 3. So, 2 into 3 is 6, which is nothing but the same. Where Dolu could eat 3 laddus in 1 hour, Bolu could eat 3 laddus in 1 hour. So, totally 6 laddus they could eat in 1 hour. This is the same here. So, the time here we know, which is 52 days. So, total work. What was my total work? Finally, it will be 52 into ms. 52 into ms. So, this was my total work. Now, what happened? What happened is 17 days. After 17 days. So, till 17 days, these m men were working. So, till 17 days, this m men were working. So, m men with the speed of s men, ms, into the time taken was 17 days. For 17 days they were working. After that, what happened? They added 300 men more. So, now what's happening? After 17 days, there is 300 men more added. So, total number of men were m plus 300. So, speed of 1 man was s. For how long did they work? Initially, the project was completed in 52 days. But now, they completed the project in 21 days earlier. So, it will be 52 minus 21, which is nothing but 31. But then, in 31 days, the total project was completed. In that 31 days, even this 17 days was counted. So, these men were working for 17 days. Hence, these men will be working for 31 minus 17, which is nothing but 14 days. By working for these many days, what was the work they completed? This was the total work they completed. So, which is equal to 52 m into s. Now, what's happening? So, let us solve this equation or solve this. So, we get 17 ms plus, we take this inside, we get 14 ms plus 3 into 14 gives me 42 plus 2 zeros. So, 4200 s, which will be equal to 52 ms. So, there is s everywhere. So, I can cancel out the s. So, finally, I will be left out with 17m plus 14m plus 4200, which will be equal to 52m. So, 17 plus 14 is nothing but 31. 31m plus 4200 will be equal to 52m. Now, if I take this to the other side, it will become minus 31. So, 52 minus 31 will be 21m. So, 21m will be equal to 4200. So, m will be equal to 200. So, if my m is 200, which means initially there were 200 men working on the project, which is my final answer. Let us move on to our next question here. What does it say? After 6 years, Raju's father's age will be twice the age of Raju at that time. 2 years ago, his mother's age was twice that of Raju's age at that time. Sum of the age of their parents is. So they are asking the sum of their parents' present ages. So whenever you are dealing with problems based on ages, we generally 90% of the time assume their present ages. So now let us assume father's present age to be F, mother's present age to be M, and Raju's present age to be R. Why did we do this? There are 3 different individuals given in our question, and whenever we are dealing with ages, we'll always assume their present ages. If we need their future ages, we add that amount of time. If we need their past ages, we subtract that amount of time. So now, what have they given in our question? After 6 years, meaning Raju's father's age, or after 6 years, Raju's father will be F plus 6. After 6 years, Raju's father's age will be twice that of Raju's age at that time. So it will be equal to Raju's age at that time will also be R plus 6. R plus 6. Why am I doing this? Now let us say there is one person. His age is 20 years. And his father's age is, let's say, 50 years. Now, if I ask you what's his age 6 years later, what will you do? You will add 6 to it. So it will be 26 years after 6 years. So what if I tell what is his father's age after 6 years? What do? You again add 6 years to his father's age as well. So it will be 56 years. So that person was 20 years in the present. He will be 26 years after 6 years. So that person, his father was 50 years at present. He will be 56 years after 6 years. So same way, father was F at the present and he will be F plus 6 after 6 years. Raju will be R at the present and R plus 6 after 6 years. Now what have they told us? After 6 years, Raju's father's age. Raju's father's age is F plus 6 will be equal to twice the age of Raju at that time. At that time, Raju's age was R plus 6. So twice this age. So 2 into R plus 6. So if I simplify this, I'll get F plus 6 will be equal to 2R plus 12. So his father's age F will be equal to 2R plus 12 minus 6. That will be plus 6. This will be the age of his father. Let me consider this to be my equation number 1. Now let us see what they have given in the next part of a question. 2 years ago, his mother's age was twice that of Raju's age. So they are telling 2 years ago, his mother's age was twice that of Raju's age. So 2 years ago, what will be his mother's age? Mother's age will be M minus 2. Similar to this, his mother's age will be M minus 2. So again, Raju's age at that time will be R minus 2. So his mother's 2 years ago, his mother's age was twice that of his age. So 2 times his age. 2 times his age. So if we simplify this, we get M minus 2 will be equal to 2R minus 4. So if I take minus 2 to the other side, it will become plus 2. So M will be equal to 2R minus 4 plus 2 will give me minus 2. So this is his mother's age. So let this be my equation number 2. So what are they asking us? They are asking us the sum of his parents' age. Sum of his parents' age will be F plus M, which is nothing but equation number 1 plus equation number 2, which will give me F plus M will be equal to 2R plus 6. 2R plus 6 plus, because it's father's age plus mother's age, plus 2R minus 2. It's nothing but 2R minus 2. So what do we get? The sum of the parents' age as F plus M will be equal to 2R plus 2R, which is nothing but 4R plus 6 minus 2 will give me plus 4. Do we add this in our option anywhere? Yes. Option number C tells 4 more than 4 times Raju's age. So it's nothing but 4 times Raju's age. So plus 4, which means 4 more than 4 times Raju's age, which will be our final answer. Now, let us move on to our next question here. What does the next question say? They're asking us, what is the average of first 200 terms? 200 terms of the series 1. So let me write down the series. 1 minus 2, 3 minus 4, 5 minus 6, 7, and so on. We'll have to find the sum of first 200 terms here. Do we need to calculate the sum of plus 1 minus 2 totally till 200 terms? No, we'll have to be smart enough. How do we do this? So let us represent them as couples. Let me take the first two terms. Let me represent them as couples. So it will be 1 minus 2, and it's plus 3. They're asking the sum. So plus 3 minus 4. Again, the third term and the fourth term will be my second couple. So what about my next other two terms? They'll again be my next couples. So 5 minus 6, so on till if my first term, the first term is 1, the 200 term will be 200. So 199th term will be 199. Here there is a positive sign for every odd term and negative sign for every even term. So on till it will be till 199 minus 200. So totally how many terms are there in the series? There are 200 terms. So in 200 there are 200 terms. So how many couples are there? To form one couple you need two terms. So there are 200 terms. So how many couples are there? There are 100 couples here. In this series there are 100 couples. And what will be the value of each couple here? Let us see. So plus 1 minus 2 will be minus 1. Same way, plus 3 minus 4 will be again minus 1. Again, plus 5 and minus 6 will be, again it will be minus 1. So on till 199 minus 200. What will be the value of 199 minus 200? Again it will be minus 1. So minus 1. How many minus 1 do we have? We have 100 couples. So we'll have 100 minus 1. So it will be 100 into minus 1. So the total sum of my series will be minus 100. But what are they asking in the question? They're asking average. What is average? Average is nothing but total sum of all the terms. Sum of all the terms divided by total number of terms. We know what is the sum here. We have already calculated the sum. Now we know what is number of terms as well, which they have given in the question itself, which is 200. So what will be my average? Average will be equal to sum, which is nothing but minus 100 divided by total number of terms. What are the total number of terms which I have in the series? It will be 200 terms. So what will be my average? Average will be 2 zeros gets cancelled, 1 by 2, which is nothing but minus 0.5. Do we have this in our options there? Yes. Option A, minus 0.5 will be my correct answer. Let us move on to our next question here. What does it say? What are the possible 6 letters arrangements of the letters of the word master are sorted in alphabetical order? What will be 49th word? So they have told us, they have given the word master. M-A-S-T-E and R. And they have asked us to arrange all the letters in alphabetical order and find the 49th word in this arrangement. So how do we do this? It is very simple. It's like your attendance order, attendance register arrangement. So remember your olden days where the attendance was taken. So whenever there were two names, let us say Abhilash and Ajay, who would be roll number 1 and who would be roll number 2? How would you arrange this? First you would compare the first letters of the word of both the names. So it will be A, which is same. Then you will start comparing the second letters of the words Ajay and Abhilash here. Here B comes before J in alphabetical order, hence Abhilash's roll number would have been 1 and Ajay's roll number would have been 2. So you would have placed Abhilash first and then Ajay. Similarly, they are asking for 49th word when you are arranging the word master, all the letters of the word master in alphabetical order. So we know that A is the first term in our alphabetical order and T is the 20th term, E is the 5th term. So what about S? S comes before T, S and then T. So S will be 19th term. What about R? R would be coming before S. P, Q, R, S and then T. So R will be 18th letter in our alphabetical order. What about M? M will be 13th element or 13th alphabet in our alphabetical order. It will be coming after E. So now, if you arrange this in alphabetical order, we'll be getting something like this. We'll get a word A, which is first word, then comes 5th, so that is E. After 5 it is 13, which is M, and then after M it is 18, which is R, and then it is 19, which is S, and then T, which is 20th one. So all my 6 letters are arranged in alphabetical order. So this will be my first word. This will be my first word. Similarly, they are asking for 49th word. Can we start arranging every single word and go up to 49 words? No. So this is when permutation and combination comes to our help. Now let me take A. So whichever the word is coming in the first should start with A. So I have taken A. Then what are the amount of blank spaces which I will have? I will have 5 other blank spaces because there are totally 6 words here, 6 letters here. So I will have 5 blank spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 blank spaces A. So in how many ways can you fill this blank space here? After A, since repetition is not allowed, there are other 5 different ways in which I can fill this. There are 5 different blanks and 5 different words available to fill. So this will be filled in 5 factorial ways. If you haven't understood this, please do watch our basic videos on permutation and combination done by Praveen Jala. He has explained everything very clearly over there. So this can be done in 5 factorial ways. 5 factorial is equal to 120 ways. So if you go here, if you arrange, you take only A in the first term. If you start arranging, you would have gone up to 120 words. But we need 49th word, which is way before 120 words. So let me fix the second place as well. If my first place is A and second place should be E. If second place is E, we should find all the possible words which can be formed with first term as A and second term as E, because after A there is E in this word which is coming in our alphabetical order. So how many boxes are there? How many free spaces are there? There are 4 free spaces. And how many words are available to be filled in these 4 free spaces? A and E are already used up. A can be filled in first spot in only one way because there is only one A and it can be filled in. You want A in first place itself, so it's only one way. What about E? Again, E is also only one way. What about the other 4 places? There are 4 words and 4 blank spaces which can be arranged in 4 factorial ways. So you get 24 arrangements. 24 arrangements, which means you have got first 24 words while you are arranging in alphabetical order. So you have got first 24 words. First 24 words. So next, so all the words in this combination are done. So what can we do next? After we can replace E with the next term, which is M. If I am replacing E with M, what will happen here? Again, I'll have 4 blank spaces. Again, these 4 blank spaces can be filled in 4 factorial ways. These blank spaces can be filled in 4 factorial ways, similar to the previous arrangement. So here again we'll get next 24 words, next 24 arrangements, which is nothing but next 24 words. Totally how many words have we got? We have got 24 words here and 24 words here. So we have already got 48 words. 48 words. They're asking for the 49th word. They're asking for the 49th word. So how do we do that? All the arrangements based on AE and AM are done. So now what do we need to take next? After M in this series, what is the one which is coming before in the alphabetical series? I mean, which is coming earlier in the alphabetical series, which is nothing but R. So R is coming after M but before all other letters. So I'll be taking R as my next term here. So I've got my first two terms. So let me check the options if I have any one starting from A and R. So AR, AR, AM and AR. There are three options. So I'll have to fill another space here. So which will be the word which will be coming here? Which will be the word from this master which is earliest which will be coming here? It should have been A, but A is already occupied this place. After A, what will be there? It should be E. So E must be coming here. If E has occupied this space, let me check in the options where my first three letters are A, R, E. Is there any one or two or more? There's only one option. Option A starts with A, R, E. So that will be my final answer. So what is option A? A, R, E, M, S, T. This will be my 49th term when I'm arranging all the letters of the word master in alphabetical order. So this will be my final answer. Let us move on to our next problem here. What does it say? Given the digits 1, 3, 6, 9. Find the probability that a 3-digit number formed by using them with no digit repeated is divisible by 4. It's a blend of probability and permutation and combination here. So what have they given us? Given us the digits which are 1, 3, 6 and 9. Using these digits we need to form 3-digit numbers, and we need to find the probability that these 3-digit numbers are divisible by 4. So how do we do that? How do we go about the problem? First, let us understand what probability is, or the formula of probability. What is the formula of probability? Probability is nothing but number of favorable cases. Favorable cases in this case is the 3-digit numbers which are divisible by 4. So number of favorable cases divided by total number of cases. Total number of cases. What is the total number of cases here? The number of 3-digit numbers which can be formed by using these digits without a repetition. So now how can we do this? Let us go to our permutation and combination. Let us first find the total number of cases. What are the total number of cases here? Total number of cases would be, we need to form a 3-digit number. So there are 3 places here. And how do we need to form these 3-digit numbers? By using these 4 terms. These 4 numbers. 1, 3, 6 and 9 must be used to form 3-digit numbers. So how can I do that? In how many ways can I do that? My first blank here. In how many ways can I fill my first blank here? I can use any of the terms here. I can use either 9, 6, 3 or 1 to fill my first blank here. So I can fill this blank in 4 different ways. Am I right? I can fill this blank in 4 different ways. So what about my second blank here? So now I've used one of the terms. Any one of the terms is already used and repetition is not allowed. Hence, I'll be remaining with other 3 terms. Only 3 terms. I can be using any other 3 terms without the term which I've used here. I should not be using the term which I've used here, except that I can be using any other 3 terms. So now this can be filled in 3 ways. This 4 and 3. And is nothing but multiplication. 4 and 3 and. And how many ways can I fill this place in? I've used one term here for my first place, second term here for my second place. So how many terms are left out, or how many digits are left out? There are 2 digits left out. So I can be using any 2 numbers to fill my units place. So then how many ways can what are my total number of ways, or in how many ways can I form a 3-digit number using these 4 numbers? So I can be forming them in 4 into 3 into 2. 4 into 3 is 12. 12 into 2 is 24 ways. In 24 different ways, I can form 3-digit numbers using these 4 digits. Now we need our favorable cases. What are our favorable cases? Favorable cases are nothing but the numbers, 3-digit numbers which are divisible by 4. Which are the 3-digit numbers which will be divisible by 4? If you take 3 digits and if the number has to be divisible by 4, then the last 2 digits must be divisible by 4. The last 2 digits must be divisible by 4. So if the last 2 digits must be divisible by 4, how many last 2 digits can be formed which are divisible by 4 using these 4 digits? It can be 1 can be used, 3 can be used. Can 3 be used? No, 13 is not divisible by 4. What about 16? Yes, 16 is divisible by 4. So 16 is one case. So what about my next term? 1 and 9. Is 19 divisible by 4? No, 19 is not divisible by 4. So I can't be using 19. So let me move on to my next term here. 3. 3 and 1. Is 31 divisible by 4? No, 31 is not divisible by 4. Hence I can't be using 31. What about 36? Yes, 36 is divisible by 4. So I can be using 36. This can be my second term or second way. Next, let me move on to the next term. 39. Is 39 divisible by 4? No, so I can't be using 39. Similarly, if I start combining them, I can only get one more term, which is nothing but 96. 96 is divisible by 4. When the units place of my 3-digit number is either 16, 36 or 96, only then the 3-digit number will be divisible by 4. Hence what's happening here? I can either, when I take a 3-digit number, I want 6 in my units place. In how many ways can I fill 6 in my units place? It's in only one way. I want only 6 in my units place. So it's only one way. What about my tens place? Again, I can be filling my tens place with only 1, which is nothing but only one way. I want only 1 in my tens place. So I can be doing it in only one way. What about my hundreds place here? Well, I've used 2 terms out of the total 4 terms. What are the remaining terms? There are other 2 terms, which is nothing but 3 and 9 in this case. 3 and 9 in this case. So I can be filling my hundreds place in any of the 2 terms. It can either be 316 or 916. It doesn't make a difference. It will be divisible by 4. Hence I can be filling this in 2 different ways. So totally in this case I can be filling it in 2 different ways. So what about my 36? Same way. This units place and hundreds place, tens place can be filled in only 1 different way each. So what about my hundreds place? Hundreds place is again 2 different ways. So again in this case also I can be filling it in 2 different ways. What about my final case here? Final case here. So it will again be 2 different ways. So totally my favorable case will be 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is nothing but 6. So my probability will be number of favorable cases, which is nothing but 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 6, divided by total number of cases. Total number of cases is nothing but 24. So my total number of cases is 24. So if I cancel this out, 6 1 times and 6 4 times, my probability will be 1 by 4. Do we have this in our options there? Yes. Option B is 1 by 4, which is my final answer. Let us move on to our next question here. What does it say? 2/3 of the balls in a bag are blue. So 2/3 of the balls in a bag are blue. The rest are pink. If 5/9 of the blue balls and 7/8 of the pink balls is defective. So they are told that 5/9 of the blue balls and 7/8 of the pink balls is defective. Find the total number of balls in the bag given that the number of non-defective balls is 146. They have given us the number of non-defective balls and they have given the ratio of defective balls in each blue as well as pink. So first let us understand what ratios are. What are ratios? What if I tell you, let us forget about the question. What if I tell you there are 5 boys and 3 girls? 5 boys forgive me for my bad drawing, and 3 girls. what will be the ratio of boys to total number of people there? So what will be the ratio of boys to total number of people there? So what will it be? It will be 5 out of total of 8. How did I get this? The total number of people here are 8 and the boys here are 5. So my ratio will be 5 out of 8, which is nothing but there are 5 boys out of total of 8. So what will be the number of girls? It will be 5 minus 8, which is nothing but 3. So there will be 3 girls out of total of 8 people. Now if I ask you what is the ratio of boys is to girls, what will be the ratio of boys is to girls? It will be 5 boys is to 3 girls. It will be 5 is to 3, which means if there are 5 boys, there will be 3 girls. For example, we have only taken 8 people here. What if I take 16 people? If I take 16 people, it will be, instead of 8, it will become 16. So how do I get 16? Into 2. So what must I be doing in the numerator as well? To keep the ratio constant, it will be into 2. So there will be 10 boys if there are total of 18 people. 16 people. There will be 10 boys out of total of 16 people. If there are 24 people, what will be the number of boys? It will be 5 into 3, which is nothing but 15 boys out of the total of 24 people. We simplify that and give it in this form. So there are totally 5 boys out of every 8 people. So there are 5 boys out of every 8 people. This is how the ratios work. So now let us come to a question here. What does it say? 2/3 of the balls in a bag are blue. So out of total 3 balls are there in a bag, which means totally 3 balls. It need not be 3, it will be the multiples of 3. So there are 3 balls in the bag. Let us say there are 3 balls in the bag. Out of these 3 balls, 2 balls are blue. These 2 balls are blue and the rest are pink. What is the remaining number of balls in the bag? It is 1. Nothing but the rest are pink. So what's happening here? So they have told that 2/3 of the balls, which means there are 2 blue balls out of every 3 total number of balls. And the rest is pink, which means there is 1 ball out of every total of 3 balls. 1 pink ball out of 3 total number of balls. Now, out of which 5/9 of the blue balls are 5/9 of the blue balls and 7/8 of the pink balls are defective. So we don't know the total number of balls here. It will be the multiples of 3. So let me take the number of balls as x. So let me take the number of balls as x. So what will be the number of blue balls? It will be 2/3 of total, which is nothing but 2/3 of x. 2/3 of x. These are the number of blue balls. What about the number of pink balls? The number of pink balls will be the remaining, which is nothing but 1/3. 1/3 of the total. What is my total here? It is x. It is x. So these are the total number of blue and pink balls. Out of this, 5/9 of the blue balls are defective. 5/9 of the blue balls are defective. And out of these pink balls, 7/8 of the pink balls are defective. But in the final sentence, they have given that there are the total number of non-defective balls are 146. Total number of non-defective balls are 146. Hence, we need to find out non-defective balls rather than finding out defective balls. So, how to do that? If 5/9 of the blue balls are defective, if 5/9 of the blue balls are defective, what will be non-defective balls here? If 5/9 of blue balls are defective, total 9, out of which 5 are defective. So what will be non-defective? Non-defective will be 4/9 of the blue balls, total number of blue balls. 4/9 of blue balls will be non-defective. Similarly, when it comes to pink, 7/8 of the pink balls are defective. So if it's 7/8 are defective, so this will be defective, this will be non-defective. In pink balls, 7/8 are defective. So if 7/8 are defective, what's happening here? So total 8 balls are there, out of which 7 balls are defective. So non-defective will be 1/8. So this will be non-defective. 1/8 of the total will be non-defective. 1/8 of the total of pink balls here. So total non-defective balls will be 4/9 of blue balls. 4/9 of blue balls plus total non-defective includes pink as well. So 1/8 of pink balls. But we know what is the total number of blue balls here. Total number of blue balls here is 2/3 of x. So total number of blue balls here will be 2/3 of x. So what will be the total number of pink balls here? Total number of pink balls here will be 1/3 of x. So 1/3 of x. What is this? 4/9 of blue balls plus 1/8 of pink balls are what? They are non-defective balls. In the question they have given as non-defective balls are equal to 146. Hence this will be equal to 146. Now if we simplify this, we get 4 into 2 is 8. 8 divided by 9 into 3 of x plus 1/3 of pink balls. So 1/8. I'm sorry, here I should have written 1/8 of 1/3 of x. So it is 1/8 of 1/3 of x, which is nothing but 1/8 into 3 of x, which will be equal to 146 here. So now if we have to simplify this further, we'll have to take LCM. So when we take LCM, what happens? 8 should be multiplied to this 8. So it will be 64x plus 9 should be multiplied here. 9x divided by 9 into 8. 72 into 3 times of 72 into 3 times, which will be giving me 146. 146. 64 plus 9 is nothing but 73. 64 plus 9 is 73. X divided by 72 into 3 will be equal to 146. So 73 1 times and 73 2 times, it will be 146. So x will be equal to 72 into 2 into 3, which is nothing but x will be equal to 144. 72 into 2 is 144. 70 into 2 is 140. 2 into 2 is 4. 144 into 3, which will give me x will be equal to 3 into 100. 300 plus 40 into 3 will be 120. 300 plus 120 will be 420. 420 plus 4 into 3 is 12. 420 plus 12 is 432. So the total number of balls, what is x here? X will be the total number of balls. X will be the total number of balls, which will be equal to 432, which will be my final answer. Let us move on to our next question here. What does it say? Length, breadth and height of a 3D figure is in the ratio 3:2:1. Here we already dealt with the problem on ratios previously. So here length, breadth and height are in the ratio 3:2:1. So this is the ratios. So the length, total length will actual length will be 3x. And what about breadth? Breadth will be 2x. And height will be x. So now let me consider this x, value of x to be 10. X value can be anything. So for my easy calculations, I'll be assuming x to be 10. So if my x is 10, so 3x will be 30, 2x will be 20 and x will be 10. Meaning my length would be 30 meters, breadth will be 20 meters and height will be 10 meters here. Now if the length is doubled, now in the new case, there's a new case here. So what's happening here? What's my length here? Length is going to be doubled. The length is doubled, breadth and heights are half. Length is doubled. Initially it was 30, If it is doubled, it becomes 60. So what is happening to my breadth and height? Breadth and height are arced, which meaning it will be half of these initial values, which they were 20 and 10 initially. Now half of them we need to consider. It's nothing but 10 and 5. Now let's move on to our next part of a question here. Now what are they asking? So what is the percentage decrease in the volume of the solid? So they're asking the percentage decrease in the volume. What is percentage decrease? Percentage decrease will be equal to difference between initial value and final value divided by initial value. Difference between initial value and final value divided by initial value. What was the initial volume here? Initial volume was, we know for volume of a 3D figure which has length, breadth and height, it will be length into breadth into height. It can either be a cube or a cuboid. Since here it is the length and breadth and height are different, it must be a cuboid. Hence the volume of a cuboid is length into breadth into height. So what will be the volume here? Volume will be 30 into 20 into 10, which will give me 3 into 2 gives me 6 plus 3 zeros. So it will be 6000. My initial volume was 6000. So what will be my final value after alteration of length, breadth and height? What will happen here? It was 60. My new volume V would be, or V dash will be equal to length into breadth into height, which is nothing but 60 into 10 into 5. 6 into 5 gives me 30. So 30 and 2 zeros here. So 3000. So we can clearly see that the volume has decreased. But how much has it decreased? It is decreased by 6000 minus 3000, which is nothing but 3000. So percentage decrement will be 6000 minus 3000, which is nothing but 3000. It's nothing but difference between initial value and final value divided by initial value. My initial value is 6000. So divided by 6000, we need in terms of percentage. So into 100. So 3 zeros here will get cancelled with 3 zeros here. So 3 1 times, 3 2 times. So 2 ones, 250 times. So my percentage decrement here, percentage decrement will be equal to 50%. Do we have that in our options? Yes, option D as decreased by 50%. That will be my final answer. So let us move on to our next question here. What does it tell? How many positive multiples of 10 that are less than 10,000 are the sum of 4 consecutive integers? They're telling that we need multiples of 10. What are the multiples of 10? The multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40 and so on. But till where do we need? We need multiples of 10 that are less than 1000. Which is the maximum multiple which is less than 1000? Maximum multiple of 10 which is less than 1000 is nothing but 990 here. The term which is highest less than 10,000 is nothing but 990. So we need to find how many of these multiples are a result of sum of consecutive integers. Let us start from So these must be the resultant of sum of 4 consecutive integers. So let us start with our first 4 consecutive integers, which is nothing but 1. So sum of first 4 consecutive integers, 2 plus 3 plus 4. What will it give me? It will be giving me 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. Yes, 10 is a multiple of 10. So I've got my first term here. Now let me go to next 4 terms. 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. What will it give me? 5 plus 6 is 11, 11 plus 7 is 18, 18 plus 8 is 26. Is 26 a multiple of 10? No, 26 is not a multiple of 10, hence we must not consider these 4 terms. What's happening here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, it is giving me the multiple of 10. The next 4 terms are not giving me the multiple of 10. So let me check with the next 4 terms. Next 4 terms, I'll be starting with 6. I've eliminated 5 here and I'm starting with 6. What's happening here? 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. There are 4 consecutive integers. What will be the sum of these? Sum of these will be 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus 8 is 21. 21 plus 9 is 30. Yes, 30 is a multiple of 10. So I've got my next term here. So if you start computing, what's happening here? What is the pattern here? You have to take first 4 terms, then leave out 1 term. You have to leave out 1 term and then take next 4 consecutive terms here. So if I follow the same logic here, what will I have to do next? I'll have to leave out 1 term, which is nothing but 10. I'll be leaving out 10 here and start with my next term, which is 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14. So if I do this here, if I add all this, I'll be getting 10, 20, 30, 40, because there are 4 tens, there are 4 times. So I'll be getting 40. 40 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which I've already got it as 10. So it will be 40 plus 10, which is nothing but 50. So this is the multiple of 10. Again, what we do, we'll quit 1 term and then start from the next term. 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19. If I add all this, what do I get? Again, there are 10 4 times. So I'll be getting 40 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, which we've already calculated to be 30. So 40 plus 30 gives me 70. When I look at these terms, 10, 30, 50 and 70, aren't they in the progression, arithmetic progression, where my first term is 10? Yes, they're in an arithmetic progression where my first term is 10. What about my next term? Next term is 30. After that is 50 and then 70. So what is the difference between each term here? 10 to 30, the difference is 20. 30 to 50, again the difference is 20. Only then it can be in progression here. So my first term A is 10 and my difference here D, common difference, which is nothing but 20. What are the total number of terms here? We don't know. So let us consider total number of terms to be n. But what is my last term here? Last term we know it is less than 1000, so it will be 990. My last term would be Tn, would be 990. Now we have a formula for arithmetic progression where Tn will be given by Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D, where n is the total number of terms in the series, which are multiples of 10 and the resultant of sum of 4 consecutive integers. So here Tn is nothing but 990. 990 will be equal to the first term. What is my first term here? First term is 10. What about my next n? We don't know the value of n, so we'll substitute it the same way it is. So what is common difference D here? Common difference D is 20. So if we simplify this, we get, if 10 goes to the other side, it becomes 990 minus 10. So it becomes 980, which will be equal to, so if I multiply 20 inside the bracket, I'll be getting 20n minus 20. Now if I take this minus 20 to the other side, it becomes plus 20. 980 plus 20 gives me 1000, which will be equal to 20n. So what will be the value of n? The value of n will be 1000 divided by 20, which is nothing but 50. So there are 50 terms which are multiples of 10 and are resultants of sum of 4 consecutive integers. Let us move on to our next question here. What does it say? A cow and a horse are bought for 2 lakhs. So the total cost price is 2 lakhs, not the cost price of cow or the horse. The total cost price here is 2 lakhs. The cow is sold for at a profit of 20% and the horse is sold at a loss of 10%. The loss of 10% on horse and 20% of profit on cow. So the overall gain is 4000. They have given us the overall gain, which is 4000. The cost price of the cow is what they are asking us. So let us assume the cost price of the cow to be x. The total cost price is cow plus horse were bought with the total cost price of 2 lakhs. So if my cost price of cow is X, what will be the cost price of horse? The cost price of my horse would be 2 lakhs minus X. 2 lakhs minus X. Now what have they told us? They told that cow is sold at 20% profit. So the cow is sold at 20% profit. 20% of X is the profit made on cow. Now the horse is sold at 10% loss. So 10% loss. Loss is always indicated by negatives. So this minus 10% loss. 10% of 2 lakhs minus X. So here profit is 20% and loss is 10%. So we have overall profit here. So overall profit is nothing but plus. So it is nothing but 4,000. So we're getting this equation. If we simplify this, what do we get? So 20% of X is nothing but 20 by 100 of X, or I'll write it as 20% of X only. So 20% of X minus 10% of 2 lakhs. 10 divided by 100, percentage and 2 zeros gets cancelled. It's nothing but 2000. 2000 into 10 is nothing but 20,000. 20,000 minus 10% of X. 10% of X. So which will be equal to 4,000 here. Equal to 4,000. Now 20% of X minus. So here is minus into minus, that is plus. So what do we get here? We get 20% of X plus 10% of X, which is nothing but 30% of X. 30% of X will be equal to, if I take this minus 20,000 to the other side, it becomes plus 20,000. Plus 20,000 plus 4,000, it becomes 24,000. 24,000. So what happens here? 24,000. 30% of X is 24,000. What will be the value of X? The value of X will be 30 by 100 of X will be equal to 24,000. 1 0 1 0 gets cancelled. 3 1 times, 3 8 times. So 8,000 will be 8,000 into 10. 8,000 into 10, which is nothing but 80,000. So the value of X is 80,000, which means my price of cow is 80,000. Do we have that in our options? Yes, option B is 80,000, which is my final answer. Let us move on to our next question here, which is the last question in this model paper. So what have they told us? A travels at 40 kilometers per hour and B travels at 60 kilometers per hour. They are traveling towards each other. By the time they meet, B would have traveled 120 kilometers more than A. So B would have traveled 120 kilometers more than A because B is faster. Find the total distance. So let us represent that in a form of a diagram here. So here there will be A and there will be B somewhere over here. So there is some distance between these two. Let me consider the total distance between these two as X. X will be the total distance between A and B. Now A is traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. A is traveling at 40 kilometers per hour. And what about B? B is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour. B will be traveling at 60 kilometers per hour. B is faster than A. Hence, B would have traveled more distance than A. So B would have come somewhere over here. When they meet, they would have met somewhere over here. This would be the distance covered by A and this would be the distance covered by B. The distance covered by B would be more. But how much more? What have they given in the question? B has traveled 120 kilometers more than A. So the distance traveled by B minus distance traveled by A will be equal to 120. Because D would have traveled 120 kilometers more than A. If DA goes to the other side, it will be 120 plus DA, meaning B would have traveled 120 kilometers more than distance traveled by A. So we have this equation here. So what will be the distance traveled by B? What is the formula for distance? Distance would be equal to speed into time. Speed into time. Since they are meeting each other at the same time, hence they would have traveled for the same amount of time. Hence the time here will be same. What will be the distance traveled by B? Distance traveled by B would be speed of B. Speed of B is nothing but 60 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour into time. Time would be T. Hours minus distance traveled by A. What will be the distance traveled by A? Similarly, speed of A, which is 40 into time taken, which is T, will be giving me 120. So 60 minus 40T will give me 20T. 20T would be giving me 120. So what will be the value of T? Value of T would be 6 hours. So the time traveled by those two people would be 6 hours. Now if we substitute this 6 hours anywhere in the equation, we will get the total distance here. Total distance traveled would be X. X would be distance traveled by A plus distance traveled by B. So X will be equal to distance traveled by A is 40T. So 40 into 6 plus distance traveled by B. Distance traveled by B is 60. 60 into 6. If you take 6 common out, we will be left with 40 and 60. So 40 plus 60 gives me 100. X will be equal to 100 into 6, which we have taken common out. So X, which is the total distance, which will be equal to 600 kilometers, which will be my final answer.